Alright, hello all you crazy people out there, my name is Dragonite and welcome back to Harvest December. So in the last part, we tried and failed again to find Marui's powers, and in this part we're probably going to do the exact same thing. Let's see, reading. We all sat listening to the continuous tapping of chalk on the blackboard. Usually it would lull me to sleep, but not today. The rest of town will end soon. What? The phrase itself would sound extremely sinister if I had said that at a town council, but I was talking about my map. Yeah, I hope so. I stared at the white page in my blank notebook. Ignore the problem with that. Ignore the problem that it's blank, if you please. It's all red, I muttered again. The phrase itself would be a big problem if I was a merchant, but of course I wasn't referring to my stamps. On the fourth day of my search, I had finally covered the whole of Tagami town. Yes, my mission to find something that contained a god's power had poor prospects to begin with, but it was still my only hope. Maruo had tagged along with Sane to her cooking class, so he wasn't here with me. I should have scolded him for running off like that, but in truth, I needed some time to get to myself so I could gather my thoughts. My 3DS battery light just went red. Excuse me. Where is my charger? Much better. Alright, so where was I? I felt the map underneath my jacket as I continued to stare at my blank notebook. I remembered someone mentioning that white panties were sacred to young men. What? I wondered whether it was something I should make a theory on. What? What does that have to do with anything? Ugh, my thoughts exactly. In other words, I was thinking the most ridiculous things as a way to distract myself from facing the real problem. I looked up at the blackboard. It was covered with notes about the French Revolution. I didn't feel motivated enough to take them down. I made a mental note to borrow Yusuji's notebook later. She was a friend when it came to finances, but a fiend. Complete opposite word there, when it came to finances. But generally, she was the type that couldn't refuse if someone depended on her. I picked up my mechanical pencil. What is being human? I penned. It was a question with a billion answers. I glared at what I had written. I thought about this for 3 whole days after my talk with Shiro-sama. Our Tochigami had mentioned some. That's the like local god, right? The Tochigami. Anyway, whatever it is had mentioned that some gods did not want to be what they were. They wanted to be something else. They craved change despite the knowledge that it was impossible. Just the way humans do. So gods think like humans too. Humans as a whole, not as an individual. But it did not. But what did being human mean anyway? My eyes darted around the classroom. There were some classmates that I spoke with frequently, and the classmates that I didn't talk to at all. And then there was the history teacher that had no connection to me whatsoever, except that he talked about history in the class that I sat in every week. There were so many people. What was I supposed to erase their individuality from my mind with? Was I supposed to erase their individuality from my mind when I thought about this problem? But if I did that, they wouldn't be human anymore, would they? I didn't like the way I was thinking. If the Earth had only 100 people, I thought idly, then I decided to pay attention in class for once. Again, ignore the problem with my statement here, please. Oh, shut up. So we've covered the events from Bastille to the Declaration of Human Rights. This has, like, no memory. I have, like, no memory of this from history class because it's been so long. The revolt may have begun from mundane problems such as not having enough to eat, but it grew into a revolution that common people to fight against the upper classes for equal rights. Of course, there were things that were left unchanged. I opened my textbook. There was a picture of a man holding a flag pointed towards one direction, and there were many that followed him. No, that wasn't quite right. They looked to be under his command. In a situation like that, it was hard to think of people as individual human beings. The teacher continued. Whether it may be the need for food, money, or anything at all, through the ages we haven't changed as humans essentially in the context that we fight to gain what we lack. I nodded at the teacher's words. Lunch hour. The school bell rang. Yep, that's a school bell. I love all the random sound effects that play in this visual novel. I don't know if I don't know if that's a thing that happens in other visual novels because I haven't read a whole ton of them, but I get a kick out of it for now. So Masaki-san was trying to escape Yuki's say ah by bringing his own bread, although it didn't seem like he was having much success. We were laughing at his feeble attempts just as usual. Where's Sane? Oni-chan hadn't touched his lunch yet. He was strangely polite in ways like that. I, on the other hand, had already finished most of what was in my bento box. Probably still baking cookies in cooking class. How do you know the girls are baking cookies? Yuki gave me some a couple days ago. We're in the same grade, so the curriculum has to be the same. I put extra effort into these. Those. How were they? I left them on the dining table to eat later, and by the time I got back, my mom had eaten them all. Oh, Mommy-chan. She left a message for you, too. She said, if I wasn't... It wasn't bad, kid. Next time I want chocolate cookies, thanks. Burp. Your mom is weird. I'm sorry. There is no other way to describe your mom. Yuki facepalmed. Mommy-chan, Masaki-san's mother, was quite a character. Maybe she's taking time because there are only so many ovens. Oh, there she is. Did I keep you waiting? Sanae slid into her chair. Now we were all together. Not. Mizuho? Where's Maruhi? He should have been with her. Oh... Sanae turns towards the door. It was wide open and we could hear the excited whispers from the corridor. Huh? Come on in, don't be shy. Maruhi poked his head around the door, but stayed where he was. Maruhi, what's wrong? Promise you won't laugh? Okay. Maruhi walked in slowly. I froze in my seat. So did Oni-chan. What's going on? Masaki-san was being force-fed like a foie gras duck. We all thought he was cute. Sanae-sama said I was to wear this if I wanted cookies. What? Pulling at the hem of his shirt. Initially we wanted him to put into uniform, but this was all we had. Was wearing the school's official PE gear. Is this necessary? Only it was for girls, and he was in bloomers. The entire classroom fell silent as all eyes were on him. Trying not to laugh is really hard here, I'm sorry. Maruhi shrank behind me. How do I look? How do you look? How do you not look? Hey, Masaki! Oni-chan spoke up before I could think of an answer. What is it, Kouhei? What am I supposed to do with the feelings I have right now? Masaki-san looked baffled and tried to come up with an answer to Oni-chan's weird question. He failed. Oni-chan turned towards us. I could hear Maruhi squeak in fear behind me. You're scaring him! Maruhi. Yes? Oni-chan slammed his chopsticks down. I don't care if you're a boy, he pounced. Nene-sama, help Kouhei-sama's acting weird. Marry me! There might be some difficulties ahead, but we'll figure something out. Okay. Oni-chan was descending upon us, taking a huge leap from his sexuality as well across our desks. No! Oof. I totally just spat all over my 3DS. But it was intercepted by Sanae's iron claw. Grrr! I must wipe off my 3DS now. Ow, 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 ow! My head, it feels like it's in a vice! You pedophile! Cheat! Scumbag! Sanae? Kouhei is tapping your arm already. He's admitting defeat. Let him go. He's turning blue. Misaki-san's pleading for his friend's life didn't work. Kouhei, you idiot! Video title. Give me a moment while I write that down. I have a notebook that I write all my video titles down in. I'm a nerd. Sanae grabbed Oni-chan's waist. He wasn't even screaming anymore. He was, in fact, quite limp. His eyes were peeled white, and he was frothing at the mouth. Just as he was about to regain consciousness, take that! Sanae tossed him over her head in a suplex. What? Strong much? From the second time today, I saw Oni-chan's body sail through the air. Except that this time he landed on his head straight as an arrow. Everyone flinched and averted their eyes. Show some self-restraint. That probably wasn't the biggest problem with his outburst, but oh well, somebody muttered. I looked at Oni-chan again. He was still stuck head down where he had landed, stiff as a pole. He had hit a desk, penetrating the top of the wooden surface down to the metal drawer underneath, which was now bent in the shape of his head. I tried to pretend he was some sort of neo-artistic ikebana stuck in a vase, but the way he occasionally swayed, it made it a little disconcerting. Mizuho Nene-sama. Don't worry, you're safe now. Well, that settled everything. Don't tell me you were attracted like Kouhei too. I always thought Maruhi had androgynous looks. Misaki-san replied cautiously. With the naginata near his throat, anybody would have tried their best to be diplomatic. Well, that was a waste of time. Here, have a seat. I made room for Madoe on my chair and sat between my legs, and he sat between my legs. May I have an orange? You have to eat your spinach first. Hey! Nene-sama? Something crossed my mind. I quickly gave some instructions to Madoe. He tilted his head sideways quizzically, but did as I told. He called me. One-sama? What? Critical hit. Mizuho received super damage to her heart. Status condition charmed. Oh, you bad, bad girl. Grabbing Madoe's chin with my thumb and forefinger, I swiveled his head to face me. One-sama? There you go, enticing everybody in public like that. I have to punish you for being such a temptress. What's happened to you, Nene-sama? You're not acting different. You're acting different. You're usually a lot more crass. What are you looking at me like that? Ooh, things are heating up here. I have a headache. Sune commented excitedly. Masaki-san leaned forward in his chair slightly in anticipation. Now we shall indulge in sin. You can't do that! Huh? For a moment, I thought he had disappeared. I felt him slip away from my grasp. Madoe! Yuki was first to react. Madoe had slid down from the chair and was lying unconscious on the floor. Unconscious. Unconscious? But he was completely fine just now and we were kidding around. Let's carry him to the sick bay. Well, that was eventful. I'm gonna end this off here. I hope you all enjoyed that. My brain is toast. My name is Dragonite, and I will see you all later.